Hi everybody, I'm Mr. Medley. I will be teaching 6th and 7th grade enrichment STEM and 8th grade study sync and literary studies this year. This is my 4th year teaching at Emily City Middle School, and I'm excited to be back for the 2020-2021 school year. New for the school year, ELA has been split into two classes, study sync and literary studies. It's possible that I'll be your teacher for both of these classes. It's also possible that I'll be your teacher for one of these courses and you'll have a different ELA teacher for the other. So I'm sure there's a little bit of confusion about what goes into each class. Basically, the Study Sync class is going to follow the Study Sync digital curriculum, which presents a vast variety of texts centered on one central topic. The first unit for 8th grade centers on suspense. So everything we read throughout the first several weeks of school are all going to be related to suspense, whether it's different poems, essays, or short stories, or even plays. They're all going to be tied into suspense. So we'll be looking at how authors use suspense in their writing and why they use it. Each week in class is going to focus on a different short text. In the beginning of the week, we will read, discuss, and analyze it together before we break off into small groups and independent work for further analysis. I think that scaffolding it this way helps everyone get a much deeper understanding of the text itself. Throughout the studies in class, we're also going to work on extensive writing assignments like persuasive and argumentative essays and creative narratives. The literary studies is a new class, and I'm really excited about it. So whereas study sync is going to focus on a lot of different short texts, literary studies is going to focus on much longer pieces of writing, like class novels that we'll read together, and independent reading will also be focused on heavily throughout literary studies. You are all encouraged to bring your own independent reading book to class daily, whether you can acquire one from a local library or from your own home, or I have several hundred books in my classroom right now that you are able to borrow. And I'm a firm believer that there's a book out there for everybody. And I've had several students claim that they were not interested in reading and didn't love to read, and we were able to find something for them. So I look forward to helping anybody that is struggling to find a book that they're interested in to find one that they will end up falling in love with. In addition to reading independently and as a class, we're also going to be working on grammar, listening and speech skills, and writing throughout literary studies. So some materials that you'll need for the courses. Number one, a pencil. You're expected to bring a pencil every single day to class. You also should have a notebook and a folder dedicated just to study sync or literary studies. So if you are in both my study sync and literary studies class, you should have 2 notebooks and 2 folders. I also highly encourage all of you to have your own headphones that you bring to school. There's going to be a lot of listening activities that are in this class, but I know that you will be using them throughout other classes too, and I would recommend just bringing in a pair of headphones that you can leave in your locker. And then as I just went over on the last slide, students are expected for literary studies to bring their own independent reading book. And again, I have a bunch in my class if you're unable to bring one from home. But the whole point of independent reading is that you are finding and bringing in something that you actually want to read. Google Classroom will be used throughout both classes almost every day, whether it's to hand out assignments or collect assignments or just to collaborate. But on the bottom right here are some codes. If you'd like to get a head start and join early, you can pause the video and type in your code. In addition to Google Classroom, I'll also be utilizing the Remind app in class, which allows me to safely communicate with families and students outside of school without exchanging personal contact information like cell phone numbers. To join, text these class codes to the number 81010 to sign up. And I'll be able to contact you with things like upcoming due dates, reminders about assignments, etc. Lastly, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to email me before we get back to school. And once we are back in school, feel free to call me. Here's my contact information. But I'm really looking forward to coming back to school. And I'm especially looking forward to, this will be my 3rd year with many of the students that I had since 6th grade in enrichment STEM. And I'm also looking forward to all the 8th graders that I have not had in enrichment classes and getting to meet them and getting to know them throughout the school year. Please drop in my virtual open house on August 20th. 6th grade is from 5 to 6 p.m., 7th grade is from 6 to 7 p.m., and 8th grade is from 7 to 8 p.m. I look forward to meeting you all then.